Hello, this is Dr. Jacob G. Talley presenting. I'm wanting to address something that, for several weeks I've been having these conversations with different women and whatnot. And I want to address something, and I want to ask you women, you know, you want to be calling yourself an independent. You know, somebody could say something to you, you first thing come out of your mouth. I don't need a man. I God is my man. You know, for one, God can't be your man because I can go to the scripture and in Numbers 23, verse 9 says, God is not man. God is not your man. And what make you think that God would lower himself off his throne to pick you as his woman? Let's get real with that. And another thing, ladies, Miss Independent Woman, quit saying that you can do bad by yourself because everybody can see that. If I had a trophy, because you don't even have to advertise it. You can definitely do that by yourself, but why would you? You know, when I talk to these women that miss independent and whatnot, I'm going to tell you something. 90% of the women that claim that they are independent women that I have talked to are the sisters. Why the sisters? Well, one thing, you need to quit watching all that mess on TV because it's brainwashing you and make you think, make you want to think that being an independent woman is what you're supposed to be. But no, you're supposed to be a mate to your man. You're supposed to be a mate to your man. You're supposed to be that support for your man. And it's not meant for you to be independent. It's not even meant for a man to be by himself. Because if it was meant to be, why was Adam in Genesis moaning in the garden when he had everything there for him? But he was missing one thing. He was missing the woman, a mate, a confidant. So nobody is meant to be by themselves. And so for you women to, think that it's okay to carry on thinking that you don't need a man, that you can do everything by yourself, no, you can't. As I said, you done proved it. Now, some of you women be complaining about seeing other cultures with black men. You ever ask yourself what might be the reason why um, the black man, I don't even like using that word black because that means dead. Right? The melanated man is with somebody of a different culture. I'm going to tell you um, what I noticed in other cultures, they have an advantage over you because 70% of you women and 70% of the melanated man were raised by a single parent. And most of you were raised by your mama. Now, that's not your fault. It's the system fault and that in place. We know that a lot of um, men of color or melanated men, they are they wind up in prison. They wind up you know the system have it where um, back in the 40s or the 60s, where in order for a family to have a home and to get government assistance, you could not have a man in the house. So a lot of your mothers have married into the system, and the government is their man. Well, I got news for you. Time to change with new uh, uh, things that are going on. Uh, it looks like the government is is going to detach itself from supporting you. And what you're going to do when that happens? Woe with me. You know, then you're going to realize you need a partner. And but you're going to have to change your mindset. What the different cultures got over you, as I said, is most of them live in a two-parent home. And guess what? By living in a two uh, parent home or having the parent don't even have to be married, but a mate was inside the home. Their mom trained them how to treat a man, how to make that man, even if he ain't running the home, mama know how to make that man think that he's running things. So in other cultures, they are trained into how to treat a man with, and you are trained by looking at this crazy mess on TV and being brainwashed to think that it's okay to be independent. Well, as you can tell, Miss Independent is not working for you because you're not attracting the right type of man. You know, you're not attracting him because he don't want Miss Independent. He wants to be the man. Let that man be the man. You know, and there's going to be times when he might fall a little short. That's your job to build him up to the point and make that man believe in himself when he don't when make that man believe that you believe in him more than he believes in himself. And when you make a man believe in himself and you make that man believe that he can fly, that man become an eagle. That man will fly higher than whatever you can imagine. It's nothing like having a mate of working with you, because with you and that mate working together, there's no limit what you can do. Quit being so independent and downing these young fellas. these, in these men need the support of you so that he can believe in himself. You know, if that man have, a vision of something that may not be what you think that he's, that's possible, try this, moving into a different direction, because if you put something in somebody's head, they're going to think on it. And it might get to a point where, he's like, you know what, you got a point. Let's talk about this. How can we make this happen? But you tell the man that, he nothing and he never going to be nothing, to tell your kids that your daddy is nothing and never going to be nothing, that's just flat out wrong. And more than likely, he's already used to hearing that because you know why? He probably had an independent mama too. So there ain't nothing to him for him to hear it and he sold out to what was told to him. So, hey, I'm nothing, so I ain't gonna be nothing. So why try? That's what you putting in this man's head. Learn from the other cultures. When you see Amy with a brother, check her out sometime. Check her out and see what Amy is doing that you're not doing. There's a lot of women that I talk to. They 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 independent because they have to. Because why? Because they haven't met that person that will fit into something that they can work with. God made man out of clay and dirt. All you have to do is learn what you can do in order to support that person and make him into what you hoping for. In other cultures, the daddy, that woman, daddy may not like that man, but when the grandbaby comes, daddy going to make sure that his daughter man got a job because, hey, buddy, I got there's a forklift job on my job. I can get you in. The daddy ain't doing that because he liked the man. The daddy is watching out for the grandchild. So, you women have to take time to learn, untrain that mess that is being encouraged with an independent, being an independent woman, because all that's designed to do is to stop population. Because a woman and a woman do not produce no babies. And a man with a man do not produce babies. So in order for you independent women and the man to get together, you women are the influence. You women have got to learn to bring out the best in the man, because it's in him. If he don't feel like he's getting what he wants from a woman, as you can tell, he move on and find something that to his life. So If you want to keep on struggling, you're doing a darn good job of doing it, but I'm trying to help you out. Some of you women, y'all probably mad right now at what you're being told, but you're only being told this because it's obvious you don't know, you don't understand what's going on with you. Stop being independent. Stop wanting to be independent. As I said, you sisters are the only people on the planet that want to be independent. Y'all embrace it like a badge of honor, but it's not doing you any good um, with the struggle that you're going through. You don't have to find you something and mold it and train it, into being what you want it to be. You know, Al Bundy thinks he runs the house, but we all know Peg runs the house. Fred Flintstone claimed that he ran the house. We all know Wilma had Fred, in check. But Wilma and Peg Bundy, they had their man back. Learn from them. Quit watching that old crazy mess on BET. Watch, something and learn from it. You know, um, you know, I am firm believer in having a mate. Man is 80% logic, 20% emotion. Women is 80% emotion, 20% logic. And right now, I bet some of you is I got that emotion, that 80% emotion triggered right now. You ain't thinking with the logic, because you're mad as all get out because I'm bringing it to you the real way. But if you work together, you got 100% of logic and emotion. Let's get together and let's do our thing, young ladies and independent women, all you women, and those women that don't want to be independent anymore, don't give up. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And trust me, we want to get caught. I'm going to close it with that. Any questions from the panel?
Question. First of all, great presentation. And young brother like me, I got 5 daughters. I'm just trying to seek some advice on. Uh, I'm raising successful young women, and I don't want them to be independent. I don't want them to fall into this trap. So, is there any advice that you can give a young brother that I can give my young daughters to, just embrace being successfulness? And but don't embrace the independence. Seek you a mate. Be happy. It don't gotta be what a fairy tale. It's just gotta be what you want to be. Any advice?
The advice is this: your daughters have an example of a great man. Your daughters are going to actually pick their mate based on what they see from you.
Yes.
You are the first man that they ever loved.
Yes.
And, in most cases, your daughters and our daughters pick somebody that they see something in them that remind them of you. It's just like
Yes.
when we pick our women, most of us pick our women based on what we seen from our mom. There's something about that girl that, from our mom, we see something, you're the perfect example, um, um, you know, by you being in your daughter's life, and your daughters, they got an advantage because they're not a part of the 70% of melanated people that grow up in a one parent home. Even if you're not with their mama, you still in their life. So they got their mama and they got you.
Yes.
So they add a great advantage. Just keep on being the man that you are,
Yes.
and your daughter's going to be fine.
Yes. Thank you so much. Very powerful.
I got
Okay.
um in reference to men having 80% logic, women and 20% emotion and so forth as far as women. How do you get a woman to understand that completion as far as if I'm surrounded by my logic being my dominance and your emotion being your dominance so that she doesn't chase that I guess that what would you say God being not being able to be her man, me being able to be her man. How do I get her to understand that and not chase that and find that completion through me?
First, you got to get her out of her emotion. You got to tap into that 20% logic that she had. And, by doing that, you got to constantly talk to her and whatnot. And she's always going to be in her emotion. But, you know, work to get her into her logic and work with her to understand she needs somebody in her life. A man, because um, if she always throwing that thing up, God is her man, show in the scripture. Just use number 23:19. God is not a man. And also use John 4:24. God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in the spirit, not in the man. God is he cannot possibly be her man. And when she say God will do it, she's saying that she will do it because where is God? God is in you. So bring her to the logic. It's hard because, man, 80%, 80, you working against 80%. But just keep working with her and bring her to the logic.
Thank you. And the presentation brought me to tears, so thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother.
I have a question. How do you go about when you're talking to your other half, your woman in this situation? How do you go about keeping her from feeling like you're the adversary by trying to get her out of her emotions and whatnot? How do you come as an ally and show her that it's something that could be beneficial for her in the long run, as opposed to her getting stuck and looking at it as an adversarial position?
Again, my brother, you balance in that 80% of her makeup. And what you have to do, you know what, you have to tap in a little bit into that 20% emotion in you to bring her to a point where she's like, okay, I feel you. Now, there's time, you gotta be careful with tapping into that 20% emotion to a woman, called with her, the woman think that when a man, some women think that when a man show just a little bit of emotion, he's showing a weakness. You know, so you going against that 80%. You you know, you have to take your 80% logic, and you using your logic, because you got the advantage on her with the logic. Use your logic and just a little bit of emotion to bring her to see that working together is, you're unstoppable. You know, that's the best I can tell you. I know you are a very bright young man, and I know with the logic that you use, you can use, you can bring any woman to the point at having at least a vision or a little vision of what you want to show her.
Appreciate it, my brother. You hit the nail right on the head. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you, my brother.
I have something here is an anecdote and a question, but like you mentioned that the women are basically getting married to the government, and this is something which is always yeah, it's not really being discussed in the news or media or anywhere, but it's actually a fact. And there's something that I just want to add to it. And imagine if the women who are receiving welfare are actually forced to take the current president's name. That will be a funny thing, but on the other hand, is also it will be very much an indicator of the obvious. So imagine people showing up with the names of Trump or Biden or Obama or Clinton or Bush. Imagine that.
Well, imagine this. When a woman gets married, she's not marrying the man. She's married to the state. That's the reason why when a man and a woman get divorced, the woman usually have the advantage, because the woman, she's not even married to the man. When you sign that marriage certificate, you're not marrying the man, you're marrying the state. So yeah, the government, some women, they rely on the government as their man. And as I said, the way things moving and stuff, the government is ready to move on and divorce the woman. So she better have a plan B. Yes, Brother Jackson.
Do you also believe that many women have gone for the lie that the only the one on top matters? What I mean by that is, if they don't have their name on top, if they think it by being the support, by being someone under someone, they don't really matter. But you look at the business world, a businessman has lots of people under him, or he wouldn't be able to do nothing. And I like what you said about that's it. That's the one to build him up, to make him stronger. I really like that.
I appreciate that. Today, media and TV, they brainwashing a lot of these women that think that it's okay to be independent. And as I said, it's sad to say, the most of the women that embracing this and being brainwashed and accepting it, it's the sister. The other cultures are trained to to make a man feel like he's he's in charge. The women that embracing this independent stuff, they brainwash and whatnot. And I tell you what, there's a lot of some things that I noticed. All right, in other cultures, when a man of color or a melanated man, when his mate is from another culture, you notice that in that culture, that melanated man is part of his children's life most of the time. Now, you see Dequita got 5 babies daddy, 4 of them in prison, and the one that's free don't want nothing to do with Dequita. So other cultures that have babies by the same melanated or man of color are able to find a way to have this man in their children's life. When Dequita, she'll tell him that you don't need your daddy ain't this and your daddy ain't that. She's not even encouraging the daddy to be in their life. She can raise her son by herself. But what what do your son become by you, Dequita, raising him? All he sees is man in and out of your life. You can't keep a man, and and you're talking down to him and whatnot. So how he going to be a man when you done tore him down before a woman ever had the opportunity to build a relationship with him? You tore him down, to the point where he's either going to accept that type of woman in his life, or he's going to reject her and move on. And then when a woman from another culture steps in and treating him something different, then now Dequita mad. She mad. Look at him. He really think he's something. Well, he's something to her, but he was nothing with you. Any other questions?
I got a question.
Yeah.
You think part of it too is like the watering down of the actual male in society? Like the other day when I was at the grocery store, I seen this dude and his girl, they holding hands, and they're both wearing matching silk pink bonnets and things of that nature, to where men are not held to that alpha standard anymore, where they're doing feminine things as well, or men have become to the point where they go live with Shaquita. you know, and then when she's tired of him from smoking weed, eating up all the kids' snacks, when he has no drive to do anything, where they're allowing women to baby them and pamper them, is that part of the decline of an actual woman having that respect for, you know, a stand-up man that is driven, that's not gonna be, you know, broken or bending over or using those feminine traits with her, or getting involved in her TV shows and knowing all the characters and sipping strawberry wine with her at night. You feel what I'm saying? Like, is that part of it where the male has actually downgraded themselves to the feminine level?
The question is, why or how did he become more feminine? It's because he was raised by his mama. So the only thing he knows is the feminine side, and the mama bring out the feminine side in him. So he don't see anything wrong with the way he act, because why? He raised by his mama. He raised by his grandmama. You know, so in order to get alpha male trait in him, he got to be around other alpha male. And you know, in these women, some of these women, you know, hey, they have men that have been part of his life, but some of them are not very careful in selecting the type of man that brings you the young man's life. So it's easy for a person that's in the young man's life to betray him, and the kid end up being sexually abused and whatnot because mama didn't select properly and didn't protect the kid in the way that she should have by the selection. And you gotta be careful with your own relative, letting Uncle Joe or cousin Nate be around your child. You have to be careful about who you let into your child's life. So but I see the more feminine uh, whatnot that brought out into these young men is because 9 times out of 10, they didn't have that male figure in their life to promote, the alpha male energy in them. Yes, Brother Jackson. Thanks for the question, Brother Mo.
Even some that did have the father and mother, their father was maybe an alcoholic, like my father, and their mother maybe had mental problems too. So,
yeah, there's a lot of reason why things happen in your life, and so there's some things that happen in your life, and you think about it and whatnot, and you come to grips to try to understand why this and why that. You come to grips with reality. You have to, I did a talk on traveling light. A lot of that stuff can weigh you down. So you have to, understand it or try to understand it or whatnot, forgive those and whatnot, and then let it go.
I agree. Thank you. And great talk.
Oh, thanks for the question, brother. I know I done went over a little bit. Unless there are any other questions. I'll close this presentation. And thanks for you guys listening and helping me out with it.